India has 1.2 billion people and is the second most populous country following China. But India is getting scarce medals in Olympic Games. Why? Respected HOD Dr. Joshi John, Faculty Advisor Miss Melby Joseph, Miss Sibi John, Reverend Dr. Sibi Joseph, seniors and my fellow mates. Good morning. Counting by population, India ranks the last in Olympic medal number. India got only 6 medals in 2012 Olympics, while none of them were gold. And today we are going to look into why India is failing to be an Olympic superpower. Over to you, Christina.
Why India fails at Olympics? Isn't outdoors our space? We have never won a medal for running, says the Indian sprinter Duty Chand. But with God's grace, I will get to the finals and I will win one. The world's second most populous nation has the worst Olympic record in terms of medals per head. In the past 3 decades, it has won only one gold medal for the men's 10-meter rifle in 2008. In London in 2012, it bagged its best haul. 6 medals, or one for every 200 million people. When compared with minnows such as Grenada and Jamaica, which regularly get a medal for every couple of 100,000 people, why isn't India punching its weight? We are going to discuss about those reasons, such as lack of government funding, as well as lack of their interest in sports and like other fields, lack of proper training facilities, consideration of sports to be an unimportant factor unlike education, presence of social stratification, investment of funding only in one or two sports, draining the pool available for other sports, and many other reasons.
The old Olympic Games were fundamentally a piece of strict celebration out of appreciation for Zeus, the father of Greek divine beings and goddesses. The celebration and the great game were held in Olympia. India originally sent a group to Summer Olympic Games in 1920 and had taken part in each Summer Games from the point forward. India has likewise contended at a few Winter Olympic Games starting in 1964. Indian competitors have won 28 awards, all at the Summer Games. The run include 8 gold awards aggregate and the 6 progressive gold decoration from 1928 to 1956. India initially took an interest at Olympic Games in 1900, which with a solitary competitor winning 2 decorations, both silver in sports, and turned into the primary Asian country to win an Olympic awards. Now look forward to know the reasons why India is failing. So I hereby welcome Annabel Denny to take forward.
Among the reasons for India's failure in Olympics, the first one is lack of sports culture. In the words of Moria Bhajantar, unless there is synergized sports culture, you will never win a string of medals. A fundamental overhaul is needed and urgently so. Without sports culture, athletes are left out of the supportive environment that is positively needed in the shaping of a better performing bunch of athletes. Second one is poverty and lack of education. There's a lack of strong foundation for sports persons in India. While pursuing their interest in sports, they also have to take care of their economic factors and pay a part of their attention towards earning livelihood or education for some. You do not get spared from exams and tests at schools for pursuing for sports. Infrastructure. We do lack proper infrastructure for training and practice sessions of athletes that could make them more competent and well equipped to deal with world class competitors. It would have been far better if our athletes could get access to better infrastructure and get to play all across the country to stay practiced. Lack of encouragement. Right from the very beginning, youth in India are discouraged from pursuing a career in sports. Our parents are obsessed with the likes of medical and engineering. And for girls, the scenario is even worse with obnoxious list of drawbacks and hindrances they have to face before they could persuade their parents to allow them to play. Most of them are forced to quit sports in order to pursue something that would give them better job security. Less contribution to sports. Our economy has been prospering, and allotment of funds to different fields of development has been improvising with each year's budget. However, there is still relatively very less allotment of funds for sports given the sheer number of youth who are willing to take up sports seriously. Cricket takes all the fans. We as a country are obsessed with a singular sports, and that is, as we all know, cricket. It is only during major events like Olympics when other sports are given a part of the limelight and fan sharing. For the rest of the year, we stay ignorant of who's who of other sports. They are promoted less, there are fewer sponsors for the other sports, there are even less fans hooting and cheering them to do better, and then we go about complaining and trolling athletes when we do not get enough medals. Corruption and less care. One of the best athletes of all times gets a positive in drug test, and even after fingers are pointed at defaming strategies, nothing is done about it. Narsingh Yadav pointed out clearly how Sai ignored the previous attempt to taint his food with unknown substance, but no serious action was taken, resulting in an end of his Olympics dreams. The odds are against us. We lack world-class facilities that are available to athletes of first world nations. They have always been robbing the third world nations of their wealth and increasing their stash. There are also some reports that suggest that, since most of the judges are from these nations, there is a possibility that some amount of partiality prevails. Favoritism in choosing heads. Heads of the sports organizations are simply people favored by the ruling party. They have no idea of the sports or its necessities and are yet chosen to lead the people who are serious about the sport. What could we expect in a system like this? And finally, genetic and nutrition. Some research prove that the athletes of these nations are genetically and physically fitter than our people. They got proper nutrition and is required for a sports person with all the necessary elements, while our athletes rely on their own little efforts to stay strong and fit. As we have reviewed the causes, now let's discuss why India faced a downfall in its own national games. Over to you, Blesson.
Downfall of hockey. There was a time in India when a 10-year-old boy would have said to his father, Papa, I want to be Bhagat Singh, Dhyan Chand, KD Singh, and different individuals from the Indian hockey group were the just legends for India. There was a time when the world knew India by two words, population and hockey. There was a time when the field of hockey in the Olympics was called off not because of rain, not because of any technical failure, but because the finalists simply refused to play against the mighty Indians. There was a time when Adolf Hitler bowed down to Team India, when Germany was ruthlessly thrashed in the finals of the Olympics. The pre-independence Indian hockey team dominated the Olympics from 1928 to 1936, winning an unprecedented three titles. In the 1928 Amsterdam Olympics, India beat Austria, Belgium, Denmark, and Switzerland before defeating Netherlands 3-0 in the final to claim their first ever gold. Looking into the facts of the golden era of Indian hockey, India had been the most successful team in Olympic history, winning the gold medal for a record 8 times. Apart from that, India has won 2 bronze and a silver medal in hockey from 1928 to 1956, India was unbeaten in the Olympics. These facts themselves talk volumes about the Indian team. But that golden era is sadly finished and forgotten. For more than 40 years, India has not won a single medal in Olympics for hockey. The country which once dominated the world in hockey has suddenly found itself playing the qualifying matches for the Olympics. 1982 to 1983 was the period which saw the starting of the downfall of hockey in India. After winning the gold in 1980 Olympics, India did not even finish the podium in the 1982 World Cup in its home turf. The Olympic gold medalists were shocked. India was shocked. The heroes of the Olympics suddenly became the villains. Till the early 1970s, hockey globally was played on grass. Indian players bred on the fields of Punjab, Kerala, and Goa were unbeatable. Only Pakistan, with a similar lineage, offered competition. All that changed in the mid 1970s. The International Hockey Federation (FIH) altered the rules to make synthetic AstroTurf the mandatory playing surface for international hockey tournaments. This was one of the reasons behind the downfall of Indian hockey. The 1976 Olympics in Montreal was the first games in which AstroTurf was used in hockey. The Indian Hockey Federation (IHF) should have objected, whether through collusion or apathy, it did not. All Olympic games henceforth were played on hard AstroTurf. India has few AstroTurf. They are expensive to lay. Over rupees 8 crore should be spent for such grounds, and it is difficult to play on. While grass, on which hockey had been played internationally for nearly a century, allowed skilled Indian and Pakistani players to trap the ball, dribble, and pass. AstroTurf suits the physicality of European and Australian hockey players based on raw power rather than technical skill. Affluent Western countries like Holland, Germany, and Australia have hundreds of AstroTurf grounds. The advantage is palpable. Not surprisingly, since 1980, Europe and Australia have dominated world hockey. India and Pakistan have slipped out of the world's top 5 hockey play nations. After a year or so, India suddenly saw an emergence of a new sport, cricket. In 1983, Kapil Dev's men shocked the defending champions, the mighty West Indians, and lifted the World Cup for the first time. This was the turning point in India's sporting history. India hockey team kept on losing tournaments after tournaments and matches after matches. No one cared. Not even the governments, not even the governing body, and not even the people of India who simply forgot that a sport named hockey existed. After some year, KPS Gill took over the governing body, IHF, Indian Hockey Federation, opening a new chapter in Indian hockey. The body did not concentrate on India to success, but only concentrated in making money. The one good thing that IHF did was introducing PHL, Premier Hockey League. After some very fruitful years, it suddenly stopped. After some very unsuccessful years for India and India not qualifying for the Olympics, the ex-players and some experts questioned IHF's work, but no one cared to do anything. Soon, a member of the IHF was caught, taking bribes for the selection of players in front of cameras. IHF was officially suspended following this incident. HI, Hockey India, took over as the governing body, an organization which was headed by Miss Vidya Stokes, an INC, Indian National Congress woman, who knew nothing about the sport and did not even know nothing about management. How can a woman without any knowledge about the sport run the governing body? But none cared. Rick Charlesworth, the man who guided Australia to gold in the 2010 World Cup, publicly said that he was ready to coach India before the World Cup, but the governing body turned his proposal down. HI covered up for its mistake by appointing Michael Nobbs as the coach of India, the man that Indian hockey desperately needed. He guided India to Asian Champions Trophy gold, a good second place in Champions Challenge, and most importantly helped India in qualifying for the London Olympics. By combining the experienced seniors and aggressive juniors, the coach has turned the team into a fierce and competitive side. Knobs famously said, "Give me 100-year players for 2 years and I will convert them into world-class team." With only a year gone, it looks like it could well prove true. The past was golden and the future seems golden. Let's keep our fingers crossed, hoping for the best.
Despite India's massive population of over than 1.2 billion people, India consistently failed to grab many medals at Olympic Games. As discussed in previous sections, it is concluded that India lacks of success at Olympic Games because of many reasons, such as lack of government funding, insufficient infrastructure, not enough chance to compete with the world best, lack of media promotion, and because of the fact that India is cricket crazy than any other sport. Despite all the odds, Indian sport can achieve the stated goal only with the significant modernization of its current national sports system. This system needs long and knowledgeable high performance leadership, cooperation of national government and a sports community, a fully educated few financing acceptance of sports among the people as a chance to reach the great heights and secure life. Let us hope that one day Indian flag will triumph over the countries in the coming years and that our nation sports do gain the momentum. Chak De India.